Hello from the Bureau with an update on a developing widespread rainfall and thunderstorm situation over the coming days, and also the ongoing heatwave conditions that continue to affect parts of Queensland. Let's start by taking a look at the recent satellite imagery, and there's two key things to note. Firstly is the monsoonal activity over northern parts of Western Australia, where locally heavy rainfall totals continue to fall each day. The second was a southerly change that swept up the east coast of New South Wales yesterday, bringing some relief from what were some very extreme temperatures and also dangerous period of bushfire activity. Now, over the coming days, moisture from the tropical parts of Western Australia is going to feed down to the southeast and interact with a low pressure system. That's going to trigger fairly widespread thunderstorm and also rainfall over the next few days. In the tropics, monsoonal activity will continue over northern parts of Western Australia, the top end, and also northern parts of Queensland. Let's take a look at this thunderstorm situation in more detail. Now, the first place to really be affected will be South Australia through this afternoon, evening and overnight period as the moisture and low interact and a lot of thunderstorm activity develops. Now, some of these storms may be severe, so watch for warnings to be issued as the event unfolds in those areas. Through this afternoon and evening period, there may also be activity over northern parts of New South Wales and into southern parts of Queensland. In the overnight period, the low continues to move to the southeast, bringing Victoria and also western parts of New South Wales into the firing line. By midday Friday, the low is transitioning into southern parts of the Tasman Sea. That does mean some onshore winds and heavy rainfall for the eastern Tasmania's coast, and severe weather warnings have been issued for these areas. Throughout Friday, the storms and rainfall are expected to be quite widespread through New South Wales, fringing into southern parts of Queensland. Again, some of these storms may be severe, so watch for warnings to be issued as the event unfolds in these areas. Heading into Saturday, and the activity is starting to move into northern parts of New South Wales and into southern parts of Queensland. Although there'll be rainfall and thunderstorms with the system, the good news is that it does mean cooler temperatures and an end to the heatwave conditions in those areas. Speaking of temperatures, there certainly were some very extreme temperatures yesterday across eastern parts of Australia. Most of inland New South Wales and southern parts of Queensland were up into the low 40s, but some of the most extreme temperatures actually occurred in parts of Sydney. Coastal parts were spared just a fraction as the southerly change came through mid-morning. That kept the temperature to 38.1 near the coast. However, western suburbs sweltered and they were some of the hottest parts of the whole of the state, with Penrith topping out at 45.1 degrees before the southerly change finally brought some relief through those areas. Those extreme temperatures certainly led to some dangerous bushfire conditions as that southerly change moved through. Although that southerly change did bring relief to parts of New South Wales, further north heatwave conditions do continue for parts of Queensland. We can see here for Thursday, Friday and Saturday that severe to extreme heatwave conditions continue, particularly for these central Queensland coastal areas. Now, the reason for that is that southerly change that gave relief to New South Wales didn't really make it any farther north than southern parts of Queensland before it weakened and washed out. And that does mean that the heat continues for a large part of Queensland, and we see that into Friday as these northwesterly winds continue to focus the heat in these areas. It's not until Saturday where a stronger southerly change starts to come through and influence these areas, and although that will bring with it showers and storms, it does also mean that by Sunday there has been relief as these southwest easterly winds return temperatures to what's more normal for this time of area through these southern and central Queensland coastline areas. However, the heat hasn't completely gone and it will stay pulled over the interior parts of Australia. That does mean that next week, if we do see any further northwest winds, that heat will quickly spread back across these eastern parts of Australia. Now, with so much weather happening across the country, make sure you stay across the latest forecast and warning information using the Bureau's website. And for information specific to your state, you can also follow us on Twitter.